Mr. Chancellor, it is my honor to present to you Ms. Aimee Mullins, athlete, model, actor, and producer. There were early signs that Ms. Mullins was a force to be reckoned with. She learned how to walk on prosthetic limbs by the age of 2, and she never slowed down, quite literally, ultimately setting 3 track and field world records in her class. Her carbon fiber prosthetics, modeled on cheetahs' legs, opened up a new perspective on design for her. Instead of her limbs being a representation of loss, she saw their potential as wearable sculpture. This mindset shift propelled her into modeling for revolutionary designer Alexander McQueen, and she was also featured in Matthew Barney's monumental Cremaster Cycle art film series. Ms. Mullins demonstrated that fashion and fine art are the perfect arenas to explore societal conversations about inclusivity, a value at the heart of Concordia's history. From modeling, she transitioned seamlessly into film and television. Among other roles, you may recognize her from the hit Netflix series Stranger Things, in which she plays Eleven's mother. Her service to society is impressive. Her inspiring story and perspective have led her to work in athletic development and be a featured speaker at the United Nations, the White House, Google headquarters, Bloomberg, and now at Concordia. Mr. Chancellor, on behalf of Senate and the Board of Governors, it is my privilege and honor to present to you Ms. Aimee Mullins so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Congratulations, Dr. Mullins. I'd like to ask you now to address the convocation. Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Chairman of the Board of Governors, Mr. President and Vice Chancellor, honored platform guests, members of the graduating class of 2019, and your friends and family. Yeah, for you. I'm thrilled to accept this honor and celebrate your accomplishments today and the many that await you. As you mark this milestone today, my own experience suggests this: never lose sight of 3 things that you're still good at now and were likely even better at as a child: curiosity, connection, and a little chaos. When I was a kid, it wasn't uncommon for a teacher to write something like this on my report card: Aimee's never really with us. Aimee's never really here. Or more to the point, Aimee's a chronic daydreamer. Now, I'm pretty sure I wasn't alone in this. Most children are champion daydreamers. But as we get older, we lose the habit. The restriction that starts as admonishment from teachers threatens to become more punitive in the adult workplace. But what about our free time? What about the times when we're alone with ourselves? The time on the subway or walking the dog or sitting in the bath would have been prime time for daydreaming, but now we even sneak our devices in there. Take back your free time for daydreaming. It's important. Daydreaming nurtures our natural curiosity and capacity for reinvention. I remember as a teenager watching Stan Winston's special effects in The Terminator and wondering, why aren't there legs like that, like the Terminators, with an articulated ankle and knee for people who actually need it? Looking at what the Hollywood special effects guys were doing allowed me to abandon the traditional idea of what a leg should be, and it opened wide the doors to all the new realms that could inspire me. I eventually met engineers and designers who furthered my dream of becoming the fastest woman with prosthetic legs on the planet, and we didn't try for a human-looking leg. We went for the fastest thing that runs. I became the guinea pig for new carbon fiber legs modeled after the hind legs of a cheetah, in which I set those sprinting world records. Those legs are now a benchmark in the history of prosthetic development, but all of that started as a daydream. What would it be like if I didn't have to have human legs? To develop the habit of being curious, we need the time and mental space to be present. And these days, that's easier said than done. Our attention has become a precious commodity. Advertisers want it, technology disrupts it. And we fend off boredom immediately with a screen, scanning mass media or more often social media. But psychologists tell us that when young kids' boredom is constantly soothed by outside stimuli that's presented to them, there's no way for them to have the stillness and the nothingness necessary to hear themselves. If you can't hear yourself, you can't know yourself. Soothing with screens stunts the almost muscular development of our natural ability to create. Allowing for that boredom to yield that fertile field of stillness and nothingness is how the seedlings of our curiosity and creativity take root. Like any muscle, if we don't flex and exercise our curiosity, it atrophies. But I have good news. Daydreaming is way easier than most exercise. If you're starting to feel bored, all you have to do is lean into it. Be bored. See where it takes you. Don't automatically reach for a device. Look up. Look around. Look out. Let your mind off the leash. When better to conjure what you want out of life and the steps you'll take to get there than when you're in that fertile field? When you're daydreaming muscles and fighting form, you begin to crystallize your visions. Daydreaming becomes visualization. It's a very effective tool. Athletes use visualization all the time, as do architects, film directors, scientists, writers, and any innovative thinker who has ever lived. It's accepted as a natural and even necessary part of high performance in many fields. Another crucial quality of being a high-performance human being is the ability to connect. Like daydreaming, pursuing connection with others is natural for us when we're kids. They'll talk to anyone and they'll ask anything, but as we get older, we tend to become less porous, and we have to work harder at staying open. That's always been the case, but now more than ever, media is getting in our way. Recent studies tell us that as we become more digitally connected, our levels of empathy decline. The mirage of intimacy and connectedness generated by likes and views on social media can actually hurt us more than help us. Genetically, we are wired for direct contact, not digital. And more good news, this too is an easy and natural fix. Spend time with your friends and family in person. Talk, listen, laugh, make eye contact, hold it. Ask questions. Do they daydream? About what? What are their cheetah legs? It sounds obvious, but how many of us spend as much time on actual connectedness rather than the simulacrum of virtual connectedness? How many of us exercise our empathy in person every day? When asked about their biggest regrets in life, the world's most successful and interesting people don't list failed real estate ventures or not achieving more at their jobs, and they certainly don't wish they had accrued more stuff. Many name times when they showed deficits of kindness. Let's not let this be our regret. Real listening, truly connecting with someone so that they feel heard and seen, is one of the greatest human kindnesses. Show it often. Finally, allow for a little chaos and nonconformity. The chaos is coming. Kids are the all-time champs at this. They know how to color outside the lines. And of course, structure is important, but I'm sure that the teachers and the parents who are here will agree that the judicious breaking of a rule is okay too. When I was in 7th grade, my art teacher fostered my passion for art by showing me how to forge his signature on study hall passes so I could get out of study hall and freely access the art studio during that time, so I could draw and paint and sculpt and explore my curiosity about all those things. Now, I am not advocating for running around forging signatures, but I am grateful that that teacher chose that formative time and empathetic reason to break a rule. The nonconformity shown by my teacher was the gift that keeps on giving in my life. And we all want to think of ourselves as nonconformists. It's a romantic notion that we put our individual stamps on everything we do, but conformity is insidious. Under the guise of ease and convenience, we are presented everywhere with curated content masquerading as our own new ideas, desires, and discoveries. In fact, it's an echo chamber, the repetitious confirmation of what we already know and already like. It's easy to overlook the small ways that our current culture discourages discovery. Netflix recommends for you your daily mix on Spotify, up next on YouTube. Stories that might interest you on Google. Your ads are selling you what you've already been looking for and talking about. Streaming sites give you recommendations based on the person you've been up until now. We want to think that we are changing and evolving, but the dynamic of the echo chamber is tethering us to who we've already been, our past selves. How are we supposed to have an original thought when so much is set up so that we don't? So notice the echo chambers around you so that you can also keep playing outside them. I mean, none of us are going to throw our phones and computers in the river, especially not me. But technology is a tool, and what it serves up should be an option for you, not a crutch. Go out of your way, figuratively and literally. Seek out things you disagree with and notice what surprises you. Try something new at least once a week. It's a cliche, but for a reason. Try doing something old in a new way. Take a new route to school or work. And instead of Google or Siri, ask a human stranger for directions or where they think the best poutine is. Leave your phone at home every now and then. You'll become better explorers in the fields of your own imagination. Following my curiosity, seeking true connection, and embracing nonconformity and a little chaos has made my life's journey fascinating for me. So take your inner child's hand and see where she leads you. Thank you for this great honor. Congratulations to you all, and chapeau, bonne chance.
Aimee, thank you for your remarks. You're truly an inspiration to us all, and please keep up the chaos.